Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and welcome to Recap, a video series where I'll be going over what has been occurring over the last week and talk with you guys about things that you can be expecting in future episodes. So with that said and done, let's jump right into the episode, shall we? So of course, starting things off on the YouTube side of things, as you guys have been noticing, I really haven't been making a whole lot of videos over the last week, which is really unfortunate when it comes down to it, and I'm really apologetic, especially when it comes down to not making videos. Not creating videos is something that I never thought would be really a problem for me, but of course there has been a loss of motivation in the last couple of weeks, and overall I feel like I've been really busy in real life, which has been deteriorating from my ability to want to make videos and having the ability or free time to create videos. Now of course I feel like this really won't be a problem for the future, considering that there's a lot of great games coming out, and when new games come out I always have a huge influx to want to create videos for them, doing let's plays and all that other great stuff that comes associated with doing things of that configuration. However, as I'm sure many of you guys are aware, Battlefield 4 is over 1.5 years old, which is definitely pretty old for a video game by itself. Now, of course, this is traditional with the Battlefield series by itself, but of course, many of you guys already are well aware of how to play Battlefield, and however you've been performing now is about the same that you're going to perform when the game dies. However, there really isn't a whole lot of additional content that I can create, such as tips and tricks and stuff like that haven't already been done, considering that the game has been out for quite some time and there's a lot of people that are already making videos. So of course there isn't really a huge initiative for me to make those types of videos, considering that the game is not new. However, when some newer games do come out, of course you guys can be expecting lots of videos like that, and I'm hopefully going to be jumping into the market a lot sooner than I normally do with a lot of these let's plays and stuff like that. So of course there is a lot of great content currently on the market, and that's going to be coming very soon. However, I'm kind of in this transition period of where I'm trying to figure out what I want to do specifically, as well as trying to finalize some of the projects that I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. Now, of course, talking a little bit about some of the projects that I've been working on over the last couple of weeks, considering that I really haven't been giving you guys a whole lot of information about this. Now, of course, I really can't give a whole lot of information in the first place, considering that I haven't created all the videos by themselves. However, I'm currently working on a couple of editing projects and really trying to familiarize myself with After Effects, which is an Adobe product, and I do have the Adobe suite, so I pretty much get everything that Adobe's ever created in terms of editing software, which is really nice when it comes down to it. So with that said, I've been spending a lot of my free time really trying to educate myself on what After Effects can do, especially in terms of editing, as well as the potential that it can give me when it comes down to creating future projects and some of the other things that I've been really wanting to work on for the last couple of years. So overall, I've been having a lot of fun making some of these projects over the last week. I really haven't been working specifically too hard on some of them. However, they've been kind of bottling around in the back of my mind, and of course while I'm at work I do spend a lot of my time trying to think of how I can really fix some of the issues I'm currently having while still making videos on the side. So of course there is a lot of great things coming. Hopefully they'll be coming to fruition very soon, but of course as of the moment I really can't give specific details, considering that I haven't been putting a whole lot of time into creating them overall, but I feel like once they are complete you guys should really enjoy them. Now, transferring over to the gaming side of things, as to be expected, I really haven't been playing a whole lot of video games over the last week. It's unfortunate in some accounts, but it's to be expected, especially with all the daily obligations that I do currently have, as well as some future obligations that are going to be coming very soon. However, when I do feel like I do have some free time and I'm not trying to educate myself on editing software or really binge watching a lot of TV shows, I feel like I'm really spending a lot of my time playing Battlefield 4, which is to be expected from somebody that creates Battlefield related content. However, I've also been playing a little bit of Heroes and Generals, which I am in the tank crew, which is a lot of fun. I really like driving around in the tanks and blowing up infantry units. I know that sounds a little gruesome by itself, but it's been a lot of fun overall and I feel like it's really enjoyable. And finally, transferring over to the real life side of the video, considering that I've been really busy over the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure you guys have been overall been able to tell, considering that I haven't been making nearly as many videos as I have been over the last couple of years, and overall it's just been frustrating by itself, but I feel like there's a lot of great reason for that, and hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm specifically talking about. So of course, starting things off, one of my main obligations for everyday living is to obviously go to work, which is definitely an interesting thing by itself. I mean, I don't feel like I love my job, but I also don't really hate it, so I'm kind of in this intermediate area of trying to figure out what I specifically want to do here, as well as how I want to go about doing it. So I've definitely been attending every single day that I've been scheduled, which is a good habit to get into, considering in the past I've always had struggles of where I just don't decide to go into work, and ultimately that just kind of leaves me in a position where I consistently start missing a lot more days as a due result. However, it is always a redeeming quality to see all the effort that you put into work being paid off, especially when it comes down to the bi-weekly paychecks that usually come in terms of being applied to my account, which is definitely really nice. I always have a lot of fun spending that, which is to be expected of somebody on my caliber. But of course, while work's been going on, I feel like when I do have a free day, I've been having to hang out with the guys, which is always a lot of fun. Playing with the crew and everything is usually an enjoyable experience by itself, and everything just kind of seems to be working out pretty well in terms of the friendships that I currently have ongoing and future friendships that are currently in the works. Now, of course, me and a friend did have the ability to hang out one day, which is a couple of days ago from when you guys are initially watching this. Now, of course, we did decide to have a little bit of a LAN setup on PC, which is definitely always a really enjoyable experience aside from the heat that usually is generated by two computers. However, it's usually a pretty easy way to fix that by opening a couple of windows and also having the AC kind of on full crank. So overall, I feel like it's an enjoyable experience in terms of playing the game. However, the temperatures can get a little hot. But of course, we did have the ability to play Battlefield 4, and both of us had an overall really good time, and I feel like it's a lot of fun to definitely play Battlefield 4 with a friend or somebody that you can kind of physically see in real life instead of just jumping into your TeamSpeak or whatever type of service you're using. Overall, I would just say it's much more of a different experience, and it's definitely a redeeming experience, especially if you're somebody that plays on PC, which this is not a very common thing, especially LAN setups and stuff of this configuration. Now, of course, alongside doing that, today, as you guys are watching this, I actually started to apply for college, which is definitely a lot of fun. Now, some of you guys might be wondering why I'm doing it so late, and rest assured, I would definitely be thinking the exact same thing in your position. So of course, with that said, jumping right into the information, when I graduated high school in 2012 at midterm, I exactly wasn't ready to jump into college right away. Now, the main reason I exactly wasn't ready to jump right into the college experience right away was mainly due to the fact in high school, my last 2 years, which would have been my junior and senior year, I didn't put a lot of effort into my classes. Now, the main reason for my academic struggle was mainly because mentally I just shut down. I stopped really caring about my classes, my grades started to drop from A's all the way down to C's and D's, which is definitely something that I never had issues with in the past. Now, of course, alongside that, my attendance record became horrendous. I mean, I'm talking about missing 30 to 40 days per class. That's a lot, especially considering each term. So of course, when I actually had the ability to graduate at midterm, I definitely jumped on that opportunity right away, considering that I didn't really want to hurt my GPA more by continuing to go to school for the remaining 4 months that was available. Now, of course, we're talking about after graduation. I kind of looked at all of my previous records. I looked at all my grades, my attendance record, and I had the ability to sit down and realize that I was not ready to jump into college 3 or 4 months later. So of course, I decided that in my head I was going to take 1 year off, and then 1 year became 2 years, and now we're looking at 2.5 years. So of course, it's kind of nice for me to finally get right into college, and hopefully everything will work out for the best. But overall, guys, I'm definitely really happy to say that I'm finally going to be jumping into this as soon as humanly possible. I'm looking at this coming August. However, I have decided to do this a little late, so of course I'm not exactly sure if things are going to work out necessarily as I envision them to. However, if it does come down to it, there are always a lot of opportunities to jump in, especially a little bit later on. So of course I am definitely looking into those opportunities and those availability slots. So of course I am really excited definitely to be jumping into this as soon as humanly possible. But of course, if I do have to wait a few more months or anything along those associated lines, I'm definitely not against that by any stretch of the imagination. Now, of course, if any of you guys are interested, I'm definitely going to be going into something that's a little bit more oriented towards editing, which is definitely something that's not too different considering that I am very familiar with editing software by itself. However, I'm by no means a pro at this kind of stuff, and that's kind of the main reason I want to go to college for editing. I would really like to work on projects, anything from gaming to anything associated into the movie industry. So of course, there are always a lot of great opportunities that are available, and I feel like overall I'd have a lot of fun doing that, and hopefully that'll allow my videos to get a lot better as time goes on, considering that I don't have aspirations of leaving YouTube anytime soon. But anyway, guys, that's really all the information I have for you. I just really wanted to let you guys know what was going on and some of the future plans that I currently have enveloped on the channel. So of course, if you guys are interested in that type of stuff, be expecting a lot of great content coming very soon. But until that point, guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out, guys. Peace.